So, good evening guys, welcome to WRL Season 1, Round 5, Zandvoort. Back to some normality this weekend. We don't have that little annoying Irishman in the comms box. Back to the same old Scotsman that nobody understands, and our resident South African. Good evening, Mitch.
Yes. Good evening.
How are we, sir?
Chris. Yeah, good, and you, man?
I am good, mate. So, but give me 1 second to deal with my dog.
No problem. Who's flashing like that? So, good evening, guys. We see Pedro flashing in the lobby. I think that must be like a 20-second
I think
penalty.
yeah, I agree, Mitch. Every time he flashes, I think we should add 10 seconds to his race time.
Okay, so he must have flashed 100 times there.
So 13 drivers, a little smaller than expected, but that does not mean we can't go and have some form of an enjoyable race between the guys. Good evening, Mikey. SPW saying about the 13 guys. Ethan says, Stephen's sad because he can't bum them all. That's probably true. That's probably very true, young Ethan. So, Zandvoort, Mitch. A track we have not yet seen a modern day F1 car go round, but, or a hybrid era F1 car, I should say. But we have seen plenty of game cars go round the circuit, and it's a bit of a spectacle. It can be a bit boring at times. It's very much a train circuit, not a lot of places to get over the take stunned, but if you're big and you're brave, there are some places where you can really send it and provoke overtakes or provoke the other driver out of position to make them out of line, which then allows you to get the run on them out of the corner. So a lot of things to watch for when it comes to the race, Mitch.
Yes, that's for sure.
And I expect to see a very strong Jensen this evening, but that is me not counting out Brock in any way, shape or form. Brock will always be there or thereabouts, it's just what he does. And of course, we've got the other guys in the fray in Tyne, Damiano, Boastman, my new teammate. So, I'd like to see the best from a teammate, because, of course, Brock says not today, and Adam's getting called I mean, I'll be polite, I'll call him a paedophile.
Oh, okay, no.
Because that's what a nonce is. But there you go. So, a selection of different tyres. Let me just get the audio at a nice balance. Excuse the blue screen, chat. So, Officer Doofy out in the mediums, Jensen out in the softs. I think we'll see most guys commit to the soft tyre, Jensen. Mitch, sorry. Soft to hard, I think we could see being the biggest move in the strategy for the main guys, but I could be wrong. I think it's a track where the two-stop works well, so two-stop's always something that can come into play.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, just catching up on the comments. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, love you too, Mike. Yeah, I think Mike can do a pretty good job today, I hope.
Well, there was some friendly banter going on between himself and Officer Doofy pre-race, and the last time they raced here together, Officer Doofy actually got Mike on the last lap to take the position off him, so I don't think Mike was maybe in his strongest form back then, and he was racing on a pad, so
I think he will.
Yeah, I think we see Mike up there, top 5 maybe.
Yeah. But let's see how it goes.
We'll go on board with Jensen as he comes to the top side of the circuit. The last corner at the end of sector 1. Small lift to the throttle, stay in 7th gear. Smash that brake pedal, 50 metres. The car run wide, take as much of the outside curb as you dare. And let it run out as you can. Swing the car far over to the right as you can to open up this left-hander. Apex nice, pick up the throttle, DRS open. Christopher, Pedro, there's no need for the Christophers in the chat. Jensen looking very, very smooth off the rip. I think this is going to be a very good banker. We could see high side, possibly 108s here, which is going to be very good. Maybe even lower side of that. 108.3 straight away from Jensen, so he is absolutely on the pace from the rip.
He's definitely going to go quicker than that, I think.
Whereas Officer Duffy, he's rounding the last corner. His time does a 109 flat, 109.8 for Matoman and his softs. Here comes Officer Duffy. He's going to be somewhere in the 11s, I think. 111.6 for the medium compound.
109.0.
Bossman does a 109.1 on the mediums. Ooh. That is a mighty lap on the medium compound. So Bossman maybe looking for an alternate strategy here. Mike slots in a 109.2. So Mike showing that he can be up there.
Yeah, no. Sure.
Pedro, you annoy me, you child.
Pedro for president.
I think Mike, I know he's going to love this. I think Mike uses the number 22 because it's half of Lewis Hamilton's 44. Don't think he's going to like that much. Could that provoke a number change? Or is he just showing that he's half of a Hamilton? Maybe that's the case. So let's go and see Nadim. Who's our lead man? I think we have actually Damiano. No, that's another Alpha Taurus. I think it's Tyne. He's coming to the pits. So Brock, let's go with Brock. I think who is our championship leaders? I think I've not looked at it. I had a big moment of oversteer there out of top 5, sorry. I think yeah, Brock is our championship leader at the moment. Oh, and a lot of understeering the car there as he fell downhill. Still carried tremendous pace though.
Yeah, no.
So up to the last couple of corners. I think this is a very important corner here because if you don't get out the corner well, it affects your pace all the way to the line. So stay tight on the exit, minimise the distance to the start finish line. And Brock does a 108.4, 1.5 tenth splits the top two. Chris, you're trying to impersonate Hamilton too much. We know he's your hero, but calm down, mate. I'm not trying to impersonate. What? Pedro. Why are you sticking up for the Irishman? You need to see where your loyalty stands, sir. I thought you were alright, Pedro. I thought you were a nice guy, but turns out you're a little bit of a prick. Nadim went P3 108.9. That's a lap I did not see. I'm waiting to see what this guy's a lot of talk but very little action. Damiano coming out for his first lap. I think he was maybe out in circuit but invalidated. Shut up, Peter. I agree, Adam. Shut up, Peter.
Yes. So I think Nadim, he's not bad, doing so bad I think, considering he's from South Africa.
Ping is not the greatest.
Probably 200-300 rand, that's money, yes. 200-300 ping or something. So, but probably I think maybe his internet connection could be like better than mine.
So, are we going to see Jensen improve? He is out on his first second run. He seems to be absolutely jumping. He's a couple of hundreds down, but oh, and he's invalidated. He didn't even go off the track. What have you done there, game?
This game.
So Bossman now on the softs too. I'll just see he's invalidated his lap. So we'll stay with Tyne. Can Tyne put a mountain challenge towards the guys that look to be kind of out there in front at the moment? squirm oversteer out the corner, but he keeps it in check with a little bit of throttle manoeuvring. Oh no, he's absolutely... The rear of that car looks absolutely wild, Mitch. Oh, and a lot of understeer. He's had to miss the corner. And he's just backed out of that lap. So Mike improves at 108.8. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. Because he was in a 109.1.
Okay, cool.
SPW, I think, is just going for a lap. Yeah, he is. So we'll stay with him for a bit. We have a Renault, but that's in an outlap. That's Nadim. Oh, Damiano. We'll go with Damiano. He rounds the last corner. We'll see where Damiano can. We know he's a quick man. Can he mount a challenge towards the front? 108.8. Absolutely nothing. Split Mike, Damiano, Nadim, Tyne, Boastman, SPW as well. SPW showing some strong ways, but of course Boastman done his lap, Mitch, on the mediums. So that's standing up really well.
Yeah, but I think he's coming on softs now, He's on softs.
Oh, yeah, he is, but he just had a big moment at turn 6. Nearly put the car on the wall. So that'll be that lap gone. Mikey doesn't quite improve. Officer Duffy in his outlap. So we'll go with Nadim. I think he could be on one. Really excited to see the cars go here, Mitch, this year for the first time.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be epic to see, and they thought they were going to slow the cars down, but really that's not the case. That's one race into the season and they're already going just as fast as they were at Imola last year, so mighty impressive.
Yeah.
And Nadim 2 tenths up, so 2 tenths will put him right into P3. Couple of positions in it for him here if he can maintain that. He's doing it for the South Africans. Can he get himself up towards that second row of the grid? Yes, he can. P3 108.5, just under a 4/10 gain for Nadim. Very good lap. SPW had invalidated his lap, so he's backed out it. Officer Duffy 2.5 tenths up. I think this could maybe be a second run in the softs. Or he's just maybe not had a good lap, because I think he's definitely more than 2.5 tenths. Or he should have in the first 2 sectors between the softs and the medium tyre. And there we go, 6.5 tenths up now. So looking to make sure he's going to go to a 10.2 here. Be at 11, see if he's got some more time in the bag in the last couple of corners. Can he get himself up inside, maybe threaten P9, P8? He'd need a lot of time. He chooses to take the wider line on the exit of the bank corner and then pull across. 109.8 for Officer Duffy. He does slot into that P11 slot, and I think he'll feel like he's got more time.
Yeah, let's see Mr. Pedro. How's he doing?
Yes, on board with the man himself in the Scarlet Ferrari. What number of car does Pedro run? 21. That's because he likes 21-year-olds. Not as in 21, he likes 20 of the 1-year-olds.
Oh, who does
Oh, don't touch that cup, Peter! No! And round he goes, front wing off.
That's for
back to the pits he goes. Yes. And who was that? They just tried to run into him there. Officer Duffy giving him a little flop there as well. He deserves that. Oh, and they're racing. It's a dive bomb from Officer Duffy. Unqualified. Pedro's going to get the exit. Officer Duffy comes on the inside line. Not quite there.
Come on, guys. This is good racing, yes.
So we have a driver not far behind as well. Are we going to see a bit of toe work here? No, they're both going in the pits. Oh, and that's going to be... I think there might be a penalty there. Yeah.
Okay.
So Officer Duffy gets a 5, please. I guess that's what happens. Peter's just trying to come into the pits and get absolutely whacked. But I'm sure the two drivers just having a little bit of fun there. It's always good to have the smiling nature in racing. So Officer Duffy probably will not run again, because no matter what happens, unless he can somehow get himself to P7, he is going to be last. And Adam says lol. I went full comms voice for you there as well, Adam, as we're having a little racing moment. So we've got Bossman out in the lap. We will go with him from afar as he comes out the first corner. We will go on board actually. On board is much better. Small inside lock up, get the power down. He's very low in ERS. So this could be the second bite at a cherry here for Bossman. Oh, and Bossman invalidates. So what about Matoman? Where is he? He's coming in the pit. So next driver to come out the box is going to be in our last run, and I think it's Mikey. So Mikey is going to be our first man to start his last run of the session. Bossman still has time to get in the box if he has a new set of softs, bolt them on and get back out for another run. So there is ample opportunity. Guys, if you haven't already as well, please like the stream. If you haven't already, sub to the channel. Sub. Mitch will love you long time.
Rub you long time, yes.
So Mitch, before we get to these last runs, do you think Jensen's got pole covered?
I think he does, eh?
I think he does. I think Brock think he's got his covered as well, but Brock, if he just keeps his head down, we know he can really pull a lap out. There's been times where I think he's even surprised himself. So if one of them come, he could definitely steal that position. As Mikey rounds the last corner off the banking, opens his final flying lap of the session. Can he find any improvements? He's got a lovely clear track ahead as well, so he has it all to himself here to just make sure he gets his apexes right, picks his braking spots, make sure he's good on the throttle application out the corners, and just be smooth and steady. Smooth and steady at Zandvoort will find you time. When you're looking at Jensen's pace, you've got to be a bit more aggressive with the car. But you'll get a good lap time out of steady driving. So is he finding any time? Let's see, as he comes up to the split, he is 2 tenths up. 2 tenths, not quite enough, but he can find another few. He can definitely challenge up inside that top 8 place maybe. SPW's retired from the session, so can Mikey find a couple and move his teammate down, and or at least join him on that row of the grid? Rounds the last corner to the line, he goes P9, so he joins him on row 4 of the grid.
Sure.
Or row 5, sorry, 4. So I think Jensen then may be... Oh, so SPW's went to save the set of softs. That's interesting, Mitch. So SPW may be thinking for the race. He's thinking the long game. If it comes a time where the late safety car or something, maybe everybody's got spent softs. He has that new set there. Jensen a 10th up though, so I am looking to really massively improve here and pile the pressure on Brock. Jensen is going to be our next man. Trying to put all the challenge on, touches the grass now outside there, but it doesn't cost him too much time. He was absolutely epic on exit at the second to last corner where it absolutely matters. To the line he goes. 108.1 for Jensen.
I think that's his target, I think he said, eh?
108.1, an absolute blinder.
Yeah.
Bossman was half a tenth down, but Bossman only needs to find a couple of tenths and he gets himself in P3. Not even a couple of tenths, a couple of hundredths. 3/100ths of a second will take Nadeem off that P3 slot. To the line Bossman goes, can he get on the grid? He does not. It practically matches his lap time from before and not quite there, so let's go with Brock. Brock is half a tenth up.
Oh.
So Brock probably feels that he needs to try and find something, because Nadeem is very close, and he may just be able to mount a challenge in this last lap. But interesting to see, but I think that's maybe going to cost him time. Brock 2/10 up. Oh, can Brock find the time through these last couple of corners, Jensen? He's really trying to put a challenge onto Jensen. He said pre-qualifying he did not have the pace, but he's looking to really try and put a challenge in. DRS open, he's kept the tightest line he possibly dares. Can he get it? Oh, not quite. 108.2. Jensen looks to have taken pole by 9/100ths of a second. I don't think Nadeem's got it. Mike's lost the car. Nadeem's out of the lap. Let's see further back. Damiano 1/10 up. Can he find any time in these last few corners? We have a Renault ahead as well, but as we said, that's Nadeem. He's backed off the lap. So Damiano looks to be our only guy on a fast lap at the moment, Mitch, sorry. As he comes to the second last corner, picks up the throttle nice, don't go too wide. He was very close to getting an validation there. Hug the tight line, DRS, pop it open, get the car, poker straight to the line. P4 for Damiano, gets himself on the second row of the grid. And I think that's us for the session. I think it is.
Mike had a spin. I don't know if you called it.
Ooh, I got a bit dizzy there on the closing laps. It got a bit busy. Yeah. So Jensen takes pole, Brock P2, Nadeem P3. Absolute splendid effort from Nadeem. Damiano P4, Bossman 5, Time P6, Mike 7, SPW8, Mikey 9, Matoman 10, Officer Duffy P11, Fusion 12, and Pedro P13. Whoa! Nice little qualifying session there, Mitch. I actually enjoyed that.
Bad, good.
I think that's a good thing about Zandvoort. On, did Pedro get a 5-place grid penalty as well for the incident? Interesting stuff. So, guys, everybody that's just joined us, please smash the like button on the channel. If you haven't already, drop a sub on the channel. The more the merrier. As I have said before, Mitch will love you long time, and it's good to be loved by a South African.
Yes.
Welcome also. There is a qualifying grid. Jensen on pole, Brock alongside him. Very, very close. Good effort from Brock. He was saying pre-session, oh, it's not going to be me, but I think he's maybe got a bit closer than he expected. So, good effort, Brock, and I think game on. We have a race on our hands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brock mentioned that. I forgot. I never even said to the chat. So there we go. I never even said it. So we have some wet weather to start the race. This looks to me like inter running. I don't think it's wet enough for full wets. I could be utterly wrong. The guys, of course, on the 5-minute break. So, Mitch, I'm going to leave the chat in capable hands with you for 30 seconds while I grab the restroom.
Cool. Okay, so let's see how it is. Race director. So as Chris called it, with the intermediates, so it's on intermediates, everyone. Yeah. Nadeem, I'm quite impressed with my fellow South African, Nadeem. So, pretty awesome.
And just like that, I'm back.
Yes.
The quickest restroom breaks you'll ever see. As Stephen says, I have the bladder of an absolute child.
What?
I do, Mitch. I toilet a lot. But let's not talk about toilet. Let's talk about race ahead. Let's have some predictions, Mitch. Where do we see things going? The weather really changes the dynamic of the start massively. Whoever finds their feet up front the fastest, that's probably going to be the driver that gets themselves away early. And if both guys find their feet, it'd be interesting. Brock said a wet start, so I think there could be dry weather to come. So the question then becomes, when does the dry weather come, Mitch? Does it come early enough that it's just going to be maybe an inter to a medium tyre, clean one-stop race, easy done, or are guys really going to be trying to stretch the inters really deep, hoping for the rain to pass, which actually doesn't, because of course we run a dynamic weather system in the game, so just because it says it's going to be dry, that can change. The rain may stay for the full race, so interesting to see. Mike saying, how many do we think will finish? 13.
Oof, maybe about...
I think he's allowed finish. I think the grid's going to be spending too much time just trying to find their way in the first few laps. That I think the wet weather really neutralises Andy really trying it in bold in the first lap, because I think drivers are more conservative to just get through the first lap. But when it's dry, I think most drivers' focuses, it's got to be, you know, at the start of a race, you've got to look to find positions. It's one of the quickest and easiest times to gain a handful of positions in a lap. Otherwise, once the race thins out, it's just not going to happen unless you have a safety car. And even then, a safety car, you'll be lucky to pick one driver off on the restart, let alone two. So, and then of course, if the inter tyres come early enough, we may see some guys trying to stop it from there and go on a really aggressive run to the end. Well, guys, maybe jump onto the hard compound, Mitch, and just try and see the race away.
Yeah, we will see. Yeah, how it goes.
So yes, so the 5-minute break will be a thing that should be coming to an end very shortly, and then, oh, look at that, bingo, I just said coming to a break, end very shortly, and Mike smacks that X button to get the lobby going. So I've got my Red Bull in hand, got my cigarettes, I'm ready for a stonker. WRL, what you got?
Yeah,
and of course, oh, sorry, on you go, Mitch. Carry on, sir.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to talk nonsense.
Okay. So, predictions you said earlier, I didn't answer. Oh, it's going to be a tough one, man. I think Jensen, Jensen, Brock, Nadim, Mike, Boastman, Damien. Yeah, we'll do pretty well, eh? And Adam.
Yeah,
but I don't know in which order.
So I'm gonna go for Brock, Jensen, Bossman. I think Bossman could be quite a hard guy to beat in these greasy conditions. He's very strong in the wet. The only thing for Bossman's the time penalties. It's a thing I struggle with myself. So it's not like, and it's not just Bossman. The game is very strict, as we've seen in qualifying with Jensen's lap getting taken off him, and he physically still had one tyre on the circuit. So,
yeah. So you going with Brock? What, Jensen?
Brock, Jensen, Bossman.
Okay, I think I will go with Jensen, Nadim, Mike. Mix it up a bit.
Oh, big and out there, Mitch. I like it.
Yes.
And I think we'll see. I reckon we're going to see one of I reckon we're going to see somebody like Mikey or SPW or off Sudufi. I think we're going to see one of them really put a challenge on the top 5 at some point in this race. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out, but Pedro's performance midweek, start of the week for OTL as well. If he can have a drive like that, he can have a really good one.
Finish again?
He was definitely on for a P5, but then he took a pit stop for the fastest lap at the end.
Oh, okay.
So,
so Mr. Pedro, not second last or last?
the cars line up in the grid. For some reason I've went to lap 2. That is very much not the case, chat.
Yeah,
we are very much just about to start the race. WRL Season 1, Round 2, Round 5, Zandvoort, 5 lights on. And it's lights out, and away we go. Matoman's got a jump start. I think it's a reasonably even start between Brock and Jensen. And further back in the grid on the timing screens went absolutely petong already. We've only just got the race going. So I think it goes Jensen from Brock, from the Dean, Damiano P4, Bosman still P5, Tyne 6, Mike 7. I think Tyne and Bosman maybe having some battles further back. I'm hoping that this filters back through very quickly, chat. Jensen got an absolutely lovely break though, as Bosman seems to be under pressure from Damiano here, but Damiano's, I think he's maybe actually got it through. Safety car out, Matoman out.
Well, he had a drive-through penalty, eh?
That's unfortunate. So
I don't know.
Hopefully, yeah, I think he has. It has. He just struggling for traction, Mitch. I think some guys been really cautious. Pedro's managed to jump himself from the back of the grid to P9, Mitch.
That's good, eh? Pedro for president, yes.
So, this is a running order off the start. It's Jensen from Brock, from the Dean, Damiano, Bosman, top 5 unchanged, top 7 unchanged, Tyne P6, Mike 7, Mikey P8, then it's Pedro P9, Officer Duffy P10, SPW's been slotted down to P11, Fusion up to 12, but now at the back of the grid. Safety car will be out probably only this other lap. I don't see any reason for it to be out much longer than that, Mitch.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But that looked a really good start from Jensen. He put a good gap. Oh, I don't know what's going on now.
People pity, is it?
Yeah. So SPW pit and Mikey pit. So some wing damage for the guys.
Mikey and SPW. SPW is waiting on Mikey.
Oh, is that a double stack? No.
Yeah, double stack.
I guess the only saving grace is they've done it while the safety car is out.
Yeah, that's a good thing though.
So
soft tires.
For who?
SPW.
So I think SPW has just
medium. Sorry. Not.
Is he trying something here, or is SPW just been absolutely pooped on from the game? That's what I want to know. Oh no. Yeah, so I think SPW, I think, has maybe been pooped on from the game there. I don't think, unless they obviously know a lot more about the weather than we do. Unless this rain is scheduled to just stop, I think that's going to be a really hard restart for SPW. So safety car not in this lap. We'll get one more. So, did you see anything massively bad near the back of the grid, Mitch?
No, not at all. I was just watching from Mikey, but I was watching from his rear wing, and I think it looks so bad, eh?
Yeah, it looked I think, as I said, everybody just trying to be careful off the line. Pedro seemed to be the most aggressive. He seemed to jump a whole load of positions. He's actually, let's just have a little look. Gained 5, he's gained 5 off the start. So 5 positions off the round. I think Pedro will be pretty happy with that, possibly not expecting to do it either. But there you go, you got to be in it to win it, so. And I already lost the call with Mike, saying that 13 would finish. We've already lost 1. So that's unfortunate. Is this lap 3? Is that a legit lap 3? I think it could be. And look, SPW even just struggling to catch up to the grid. He choose not to go into the pits, so he's just going to try and slug this out. Brave. I mean, it's absolute soldier skills. This isn't even. He's got balls. That's all I can say. He's got big cojones. So safety car in this lap, Mitch. Jensen becomes now the de facto safety car. He will take control of the pace of the grid. It's on him to be safe in his pace, but make sure he's doing enough to get the pack as close as he can together, because the bigger jump he gets in the pack, the more advantage he gets. So, when is he going to go? He is being... I think he's going to Max Verstappen this. Oh no, and he's went a bit earlier, so off he goes. He's got an absolute belt and restart there. Absolutely nailed the traction zone. Brock got a reasonable restart as well. Damiano looked to see... Oh, and Postman's absolutely sent in Damiano. I think he's maybe missed his braking a bit there. I don't think that's been deliberate. Damiano's lost some wing.
SPW infusion. They collided.
So Tyne has got up to P4, but Bosman trying to have a run there. So I think that's just been a mistake there. I don't think Bosman's done anything deliberate. Unfortunate, Damiano's came on to the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
And what's happened to Pedro?
Oh, I don't know.
And SPW and his medium somehow... He's doing a job, Mitch. He's absolutely doing a job. He's staying with some of the guys here, and I am massively impressed at the driving skills he's putting on display at the moment. But Jensen leads out Brock 0.8 of a second. Nadeem very close to Brock behind.
Yeah. Chris, is it like lagging on your side with SPW or not?
No, I don't see that.
Like shaking. Okay, I don't know. I hope it's not just mine. Might be just me. Oh, SPW is really moving, eh? Like,
it's absolutely flying.
His teammate. Yo, it looks like he's lagging, but anyway.
So are these all these guys going? Oh, I think everybody's here. Everybody's in. Jensen's in. The leader's in, Mitch. I've missed that. The leader's in and he's on the softs. Track.
Sure.
Dry track ahead, so Jensen commits to a soft compound, so I think you'll probably find Jensen going for a soft to medium run now. Track's going to be greasy. First couple of laps here are absolutely critical. You just got to keep the car on the circuit. So these guys in the inters, look at the guys in the inters, these tyre temps are going to be through the roof. I think Jensen could have this absolutely bob on here, Mitch. If he's got the pit stop here spot on, he is going to jump these guys massively. And look at SPW now, Mitch. He is absolutely on it. The call has been a genius stroke. It's been an absolute master plan. Look, he's just carving through people, Mitch. He's now in P4, Bossman's next. And the thing is, all these guys need to pit. SPW is just going to keep going. He's about to be 20 seconds in the lead of the race. Not 20, Jensen's actually going to be his lead man, but Jensen's only just round the last corner. SPW is way up the road. It's been a master stroke.
Yeah, well, what's it like, a hot knife caving through butter? So, yeah. Slicing through butter.
Wow,
So,
that is mightily... It takes a bold call to run the soft tyres when it's still wet on track, but that just shows if you get the call right, look at the gains you can make. SPW is absolutely flying.
Yeah, he is.
And look what they've done to Brock. Brock in the pack. SPW, let's see the leader gaps. 12.5 seconds SPW's put on Brock.
Yeah, that's not so.
Wow. Well, kudos to that man. That has been impressive. I am mighty impressed with the call that he's made. Brock under pressure from the guys behind, and SPW still chugging away the fastest laps. He's feeling great. Jensen now 1:14.1. His soft tyre really starting to fire. So we will see Jensen close that gap. SPW knows it was 5.5 down to 4.2, so 1.3 second game that lap alone. But Brock's not catching Jensen. He's been hunted by Nadim. Nadim also been hunted by Brock and Tyne. And Mike not far behind that pack. Damiano with the fastest lap, but he is at the rear of the pack.
Sure.
Nadim now lighting up the sectors. Yeah, who said Zandvoort was boring? Who said only having 13 drivers in a race, or now 12, makes a not exciting race? The racing hub brings excitement, and we have some big things planned for Wednesday nights with some mighty caliber drivers, some of the fastest guys in the world. But we will talk more about that later, as Jensen sets another fastest lap of the race. Brock hunting, so the medium guy is now starting to set fastest laps behind Jensen. Jensen possibly being a little bit more conservative, just trying to push the soft tyre out. Officer Duffy on Fusion. Oh, that Fusion's not in the race. I don't know if does Fusion need an invite? I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have him.
I'm unsure. I am unsure. So we will just go with it. I'm sure he would say in chat if he needed one.
Yeah.
So Jensen now 1.6 behind SPW. You see he's really pushed on, like we said he would. Brock's reeled SPW to within, he's now under the 9-second gap, so about 3 seconds. So Brock's starting to make gains now on SPW as well, but the promising thing is, it's still a big gap. You know, SPW is going to be able to chalk off another good 8 to 10 laps, I think, before, because obviously we'll have your neutralising effect of the tyre. So, yeah, game on. But Jensen knows ahead is a very hard driver to overtake. SPW gives absolutely nobody absolutely nothing. So Jensen is going to know here that if he wants this overtake, SPW is going to defend it. And SPW knows as well, he played a master stroke in the strategy call. He knows the more he holds these guys up, the more it plays into his hands.
I think
Jensen is a wily young fox though, and he's a wise young man, so I think he will, he'll be smart about it. If he's this close, I don't think SPW can defend it too much. He's maybe actually just want to go with Jensen, pick up the toe. We've got a yellow flag. It's this. Oh, Officer Duffy is round. I don't think that's a retirement, but there it goes. Yeah, SPW not going to defend that too much. In that fact, not at all. He knows his fight's not there, so I think SPW is just long game. Brock with the fastest lap of the race. And off Jensen goes, almost broke the DRS already. Brock now within 6.7, but we get Bosman all over the back of Nadim. Let's stay with this battle for a little. We'll stay with these two guys, we'll see if Bosman tries to make any moves. So 10 laps gone.
Come on,
so I'm cheering on my teammate and Mitch is cheering on his fellow countryman. I like it, Mitch.
Yeah,
a bit of well, how would we say? I don't even know what I would call it. Rivalry and comms, I like that. But we have good rivalry, friendly rivalry.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah.
Let's go on board with Bosman. How is Nadim on the energy? 40%, so it's pretty even. Jensen with another fastest lap of the race, so he's absolutely switched on. Could we see Bosman make the move this time around? He's gaining on Nadim. Here he comes. Nadim defends inside line, so Bosman's going to be forced to go around the outside. It is the harder line. Nadim, small walk up on the outside line. He's going to have to keep the car tight. Good race between the two. Small wheel bang. Bosman goes through it, but good, clean racing between the two. Nadeem being very, very respectful and very fair in his car placement. Some guys will push them all over that curb on the outside, but not today. I think Bossman maybe expected that as well, so tried to just keep himself on track, but plenty of space there, so some small lag going on now in my screen.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, some of the cars I also have, but with a bit of lag, yeah, with a bit of Mike and SPW and a few other drivers. But Mike, how's he doing? Like 7? Not much changed, if I'm not mistaken.
He's just running a lonely race at the moment, being very conservative on the L's, which Mike is these days. It's a thing. He's found a way of using the ERS deployment that really suits how he drives. And I think sometimes a lot of people say you need to learn how to conserve and use it over a race distance, but I think as long as you're comfortable in how you're deploying your energy and you feel like you're being strategic enough that you're not leaving yourself spent on energy at critical times, I think as long as you're comfortable, you're doing a good job. And Mike has definitely found that comfort zone. He sits in a nice sweet spot where he conserves a lot early, and we've seen it. It does sometimes with the faster guys round about him, it takes him off the pace a bit, but he does push himself on a little deeper when these guys are really starting to conserve. Mike's really starting to push on, so he kind of flips. He lets the guys push on early and then he pushes late and comes after them. So I expect to see Mike just sit off them and maybe see more in the second half of the race. But Bossman and Nadeem going at it. Oh, is Bossman lagged out? No, I don't think he has. I'm not really sure what's going on. So Jensen leads SPW, Brock in P3, Bossman 4, now catching Brock as well. Nadeem P5, time P6, Mike 7, Mikey 8, Damiano P9, Pedro back inside that top 10, Fusion all over the back of them in P11, and Officer Duffy P12. So we have a bit of a lull. And this is the thing with Zandvoort, unfortunately. Time. So here comes the time penalties. Time. A first man of the race to get a first track limits penalty. So 3 seconds added to the race time. So that puts him under pressure now from Mike. And Mike will see that.
Yeah, you both. Top of his left of his screen. Probably.
Bossman gaining on Brock. Brock got a nice advantage on the ERS. Bossman's got a mighty car in the straight line. Brock pulls out a little gap when the track gets twisty, so through the guts of the lap, sector 2 and 3. So that's going to probably stay that way. Nadeem staying there. Bossman got through, but he's still staying in that DRS pocket. So, still a race on for him.
Yeah.
So let's ride on board with our leader for a little bit. See how he's getting on. Driving very smooth. 27% ERS. Maybe using a bit more than expected, but still not too bad. SPW putting up an absolute blinding show. I did say they'd be able to stay out in front of Brock for a good bit. He's got another 6 laps from when I said that, and Brock's still 2.8 behind.
What SPW's fuel lock is coming on?
So he maybe need to go into a fuel saving mode a little bit later in the race. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I know some of the guys on no traction use like lean out corners and then flick to rich, and it Although the fuel light comes on, you're not really in any bad positions. So Brock, Bosman and Nadim seems to be a closest rival, although Tyne is now creeped up to the back. Mike is now creeped up to the back of Tyne. So Mike looking to get himself inside the top 6. And then where he goes from there will be interesting. And it's not like he's pushing, because he's only 5% energy worse off than we looked at him a few laps ago. So Mike's starting to really find his feet, I think, and his rhythm. And this is when you're seeing the pace start to show through.
Let's go, Mike. M.
Brosman and Bosman a lot closer this time around. They got within a tenth and a half of Brock there up into the first corner. Both guys clipped the gravel on exit and kind of neutralised them to get a run on them into turn 2.
So Mike is closing on time.
Yeah, jump on board with that there, Mitch. As you said it. Do you think this could be the lap?
Yeah, I think so.
He has a 60% advantage to Tyne on ERS. So he's got it there if he wants to really push for a go.
I don't know, is he gonna like rush it?
I think Tyne's getting a good run out the last corner, making it quite hard for Mike to really get close. Yeah. Mike did clip the grass though. You see, Mike seems to like that wider line at 1. Doesn't seem any slower. Definitely seems a lot smoother in the traction. I think it suits his delicate steering inputs. And Mike really pushing here. Look at him coming all over the back of Tyne. Is he going to think about a move? Not quite there. Tyne firmly shuts that door, slams shut. So we'll stay on board. The camera angle sometimes you got to broadcast are not the best. Is he going to try and snick one now? This is a place where you can switch the car back in the braking zone and really send one on the inside. Not quite there this time. But he's going to try and pick up the throttle good. DRS open. Another place where you can have a go with the DRS, but it's a very tight corner. Once you get into the meat, like this part of the corner, it's very hard to have 2 cars side by side without having contact. And this is where Tyne's quite strong, although he has a big moment overstay there from the 3rd to last corner. And yet on Tyne gets his 2nd penalty of the race. That's 6 seconds and he was hardly over the line there. I do feel a bit, but I think Mike's going to have a go here. He's going to pull the inside line and through. Oh, and Tyne's went really. What's happened there? What happened to Tyne?
He just went off straight.
Is Tyne's pad or wheel just disconnected? That something definitely went wrong in Tyne's connection there, because there was not even an attempt to brake. He just steamed straight in and hit the wall.
Must have been a battery low, or
I think he's a wheelman though, so I think his wheels may be disconnected.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, safety car out at the halfway point of the race. That's kind of a jackpot for us.
Yeah.
The race gets neutralised.
Wonder what
excuse me.
Will go on. You should go
so
on.
So medium to the end, I think. Yep, mediums, both the mediums on. That'll get him to the end of the race. A very, very slow stop from his mechanics. It's not going to cost him too much time. He was well ahead anyway. SPW in. This is a man that really benefits SPW. Or maybe not actually. It probably actually hampers SPW. It closes the grid up. He was really hoping probably to stay out there in the pack and keep his gaps. But He's still running a very, very good race. I mean, he's in P3 on lap 19, and a P3 that he drove himself into. I mean, he was leading the race for 8 laps, or 5 laps, so... Yeah, driver of the day effort from SBW for sure thus far. I'm going to try and... Oh, I'm not going to try it. I am going to grab the loo quickly, Mitch. Just 1 second, sir.
So what, we have Jensen leading, then you got Brock, SBW, Postman, Nadine, Mike, Mikey, Damien, Pedro, Fusion, and Officer Doofy. And we have for retirements is Tan and Metaman. Yeah, must have been like a definitely for Metaman crash on lap 1. And then with Tan, as Chris said, with a disconnection of his wheel.
And back again, Mitch, back again. Okay. Sorry, chat, I won't sing. Sorry, I shouldn't sing, chat. So, what's the crack? We've got 3 guys trundling around at the back there. Pedro, Duffy, and an AI-driven Fusion. So, safety car will probably do this lap. And then it's going to be a 16-lap shootout to the end. I think every driver, let's have a little nosy. Every man on the mediums. So we have, essentially, WRL's all about to showcase a sprint race, which we are set to see for the first time this year at Silverstone. Which I look forward to. Qualifying on a Friday and a race on a Saturday and a race on a Sunday. What's not to like? So, I think Jensen's going to feel a bit hard done by. Drove a very good stint off the back of the rain. And he's really had that gap he had all unravelled by the safety car. I don't think though, there's been no deliberation there. It doesn't look to me there like that's been a deliberate, like, oh, I've had enough. No. I know it maybe looks us after the penalty, but it just... The car just went poker straight. So safety car in this lap at the same place as always, the bridge, before the 3rd to last or 4th to last corner. Jensen takes over the pace. Will he go at the same place, go somewhere different? Interesting to see. Dry conditions, so it's a bit different. It's a lot easier for a driver to get that initial jump on you. So you watch further back, Mitch. I'm going to keep an eye on a leader. No worries.
Okay, let's see.
And Jensen's away now. Brock's got a good restart though, but I think Jensen has got enough on it to get a move done. Let's check SPW and Bossman. Bossman's going to try and go round the outside. Can he get the job done on the restart? And I think he has. Bossman gets into P3, so I think game on between Bossman, Brock and Jensen. Bossman, I think, looking very, very hungry to get moves done. He was fighting with Brock in that previous stint. We've got Mikey and Damiano making moves as well. I think Damiano maybe getting a move done there on Mikey. So I've seen Officer Duffy went on to the hard compound tyre, so
yeah,
he's maybe looking at longevity in the tyre. So his race, if there's any racing left in this for him, it's going to come at the end as the medium guys start to fall off. But Jensen maintains that lead, 0.6 of a second. Bossman half a second behind Brock, so Brock as well is trying to get that run in Jensen. He's got to be aware of Bossman coming to have a look at him from behind. But it's about how much energy do you save early? How much do you want to have a go? Jensen sits the fastest lap of the race on the restart, which is to be expected every day on the fresh compound of tyre.
Yeah, no, true, eh?
A lot of guys tipping that outside rear tyre, the left rear tyre on the gravel on the exit of 1. And I just worry every time somebody does that, somebody's going to touch it and be too much on throttle and just stick the car straight in the wall. So we have a race on between our top three, I think, here, Mitch. It is these guys slowly starting to pull away. SPW under pressure from Nadeem, but I think SPW can maintain.
Come on, Nadeem.
He's got Mike on. You've got a tough dilemma now, Mitch, because you've got Mike behind Nadeem.
Well, I got let them just have their best race. That's it, and clean racing, which they will be.
So Brock pushing on a little, spinning. Look at that, the gap stayed the same, 6/10 of a second, but it's cost Brock 20% more energy than Jensen. So. And there goes Nadeem and SPW, so Nadeem goes through, small inside lockup, SPW maybe trying to have the run back, but not quite there this time.
Yeah, I think SPW just went on a bit of the grass on the straight, so I think that cost a little bit of speed, I don't know, could be, for sure, so, come on Nadeem, Mike.
So keep an eye on that gap up front, but SPW, Nadeem and Mikey, this seems to be a fight. We'll go with Damiano, who also closes into that battle. Mikey not far behind as well. We've got a train of 5 cars here now starting to build up behind Nadeem. Every guy knows that this is to really get P70, P4. It's a huge chunk of difference in points here. So guys are going to want to get these positions done. We will watch those. They come round the last straight. DRS will be activated this lap, I think. So next time round we'll really start to see guys, I think, pushing on. DRS is activated, in fact, so we'll watch here. Brock all over the back of Jensen, not quite close enough. We'll stay with it. SPW closing up on Nadeem, not quite able to get the move there. Damiano on the back of Mike, sorry, but not quite close enough either. So Brock and Jensen absolutely, Bossman checking out from the grid. 2.3 ahead, 2 laps done, so they're taking 1.1 seconds out the guys behind every single lap they go round. You see this gap being 10-12 seconds by the time the race is over, unless one of the faster guys, Damiano, Mike even possibly can break through. Brock's got to be careful on that inside curb there, don't run that too much. It's very easy to just take it a little too much and it'll just whip the car round on you. Aggressive on the curbs, Brock. That is the way he is, though. So is he going to push on? Jensen 60%, going against Brock's 25%, Bossman. A little better off than Brock as well, so. These guys trying, it's very hard at Zandvoort to. You really need a tyre advantage if you want a really good run at somebody out the last corner. Or them to be making a mistake for you to have a right good push.
Yeah,
and SPW's now dropped out Nadeem's DRS, so that's going to make his defensive P5 a lot harder. But we know SPW, and it's against his fellow south of the borderman, so I don't think he'll make it too easy. Damiano on the back of that as well. Mike had a small wobble.
Come on, Mike.
The thing is though, SPW is absolutely spent on the energy. I think that's going to make his defence very, very difficult, especially because he has no DRS. Jensen, Brock, Bossman, gaps practically identical between all 3 drivers. Look at that. Wow.
Here we go on Mike, SPW. Mike goes on the outside. Will we do the switcheroo? Yes, it looks like it's maybe not a little bit, but anyway.
So SPW being stellar in that defence.
You still got the chance for Mike, eh?
Mike thinking about an unorthodox move. He sees that red light flash and he's thinking about going up the inside. SPW did leave the space there, and it's put Mike vulnerable from Damiano Insanity. Thought about going down the inside, which would have been a very bold place to do it, but thought better of it. And Mike starting to struggle a bit now as he stays that close. The rear tyre temps will be going through the roof, and this is where it becomes very difficult at this circuit, because it's a very much traction zone critical race. You've got to be good out the corners, and Damiano sneaks right up the trumpet at Mike once again. He's absolutely all over the gearbox of that car. Damiano sitting very pretty on the ERS, as well as the first time I've probably seen Mike disadvantaged on the ERS. SPW's got a bit of a jump here. Mike's going to have to defend. I think he's going to deploy all the energy. He's going to think about making a move. Damiano not quite close enough. He's a smart guy, Damiano, not quite going to send it that time around. I think he'll probably wait to see if Mike goes through in SPW, but SPW been very, very stellar in his defence. Bossman now slightly fell off the back of Brock and Jensen. Still just inside that DRS range, although kind of teetering inside and out as the lap goes round. But Jensen driving well. Big deployment advantage towards Brock, so he's got what he needs to keep defending every lap. So I think he cool, calm and collected. Still 9 laps to go, so anything can happen, especially at Zandvoort. Brock gaining, but not quite there. Bossman is now officially out of the DRS. So Brock's the closest we've seen him for a little while. Under 4/10 of a second. He's found some grip. He certainly looks a bit more comfortable right now in the race. Yellow flag, sector 1 and sector 2. Who's that off? I think it could be Mike. Is it Mike? Mike's off the road. No damage, so oh no, he has. He's lost an end plate. And he's on that bank bit of gravel, and it's so hard once the car turns. It just wants to go again.
Oh no.
Oh, and he's getting really hot temps. Keeps the car going though. You see Mike probably box now and go for the fastest lap, but look at this. Brock's the closest he's been, Mitch. He's thinking about having a go. He's about to be absolutely spinning energy. We're going to see a big send into one. He's not close enough. Jensen's very good in the brakes into one. Brock not quite there, but he is showing intent. We have a race on our hands as Damiano gets through in SPW, but SPW is still up a couple, driving a very, very solid race.
Yeah.
So, what you got, Brock? Jensen, and much you got in defence. These guys like to absolutely throw it at each other for these last few laps. So we'll see what happens, because there is a battle about to unfold. We'll switch back as well. We'll get Officer Duffy now all over the back of Pedro on his hard compound tyre, maybe starting to show a bit better now than Pedro's medium. This Mike is out the box on his soft. We'll go back to the Brock and Jensen fight though as they round the last corner. Brock's really struggling on deployment to really have a go at Jensen on the main straight, but being that close is enough to keep the driver in front having a look, and he just needs to have a look at the wrong time. Make a slight error and you're absolutely on him to get the move done. So Brock's a smart lad.
Yes.
He'll know there is much racing left and opportunities can come. Just about keeping your head down.
Oh, yikes.
So a bit closer he comes again. Oh, small oversteer correction there, that's going to give Jensen a bit of a jump, but Brock managed to correct that reasonably quickly, and I mean he only lost a tenth. But yeah. I think that will scamper the opportunity to get a move done this lap round. Officer Duffy now gets himself into P8. Pedro on the back of him. We'll see if Pedro's going to have a move back at him on this next main straight. We'll get DRS in return. He's got a lot more energy than Officer Duffy as well. So get on the overtake button. Yeah. Go get him, Pedro. Go, go, go. DRS will pop open.
Pedro.
Oh, and I think we'll...
Whoa!
Yeah.
Like weaving on the straights or something.
Yeah. I just came away from that. I don't think I don't
know.
We need to see that.
Okay. Maybe they were just defending. Did Adam overtook?
Yeah, I think Adam was trying to defend. I think they're having some fun between each other.
Ah, yeah, well, they are good guys.
Yeah, oh, between them, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just maybe not one for the public eye.
Oh.
So Jensen on Mike's round again. I think he's maybe just pushing. So we'll probably see Mike go for another soft tyre and another fastest lap of the race.
Yeah. Shame, man.
So Jensen pulled out a bit. Gap almost out to 1 second. Fair play to Brock as well. He came and tried to really have a go at him. You know, he didn't just sit in the gap. He tried to come up. I'm not saying he's finished having a go, but as it looks, Jensen's just bridged the gap to maybe be 3 laps to go next lap round. It'll be very hard without Jensen having a moment. It'll be very hard for Brock to close up. I could be utterly wrong though. Brock maybe just conserving a bit to maybe have one big push in these last couple of laps.
Yeah.
He's closed up a little bit more as Brock, so he's not away yet. He is not away just yet. Jensen will know that as well. He's not. He knows Brock well enough now. They've raced each other a lot of times. Brock absolutely lighting up the sector times. He will know that Brock will come giving everything in the tank that he possibly can. If Brock has an ounce of fight and an ounce of push in it, he will find that 1 ounce of push and give it all.
Yeah.
Oh, that exit curb. It just keeps compromising his run up into these last couple of corners, and it's where Jensen can just pull a bit of a gap, and it's making it a bit harder for Brock as Jensen comes round onto lap 34, 2 to go. Jensen from Brock, Boseman 3rd, Nadeem P4, Damiano 5, SPW 6, Mikey 7, Duffy 8, Pedro 9, Fusion 10, but that is an AI driven car, so essentially it's Mike and P10. Lost 3 drivers in Fusion 10, Matoman 10, with what looked like to be a disconnection of some kind in his equipment rather than from the session, and car just torpedoed straight into the wall. Oh, Brock got a bit closer to Jensen there. Jensen struggled a bit with understeer there. The car was really struggling, a big twitch there as well. As they're coming up, I thought they were coming to back markers, for some reason it's showing blue flags, but Brock's right up now, 4/10 of a second. He saved up some of that energy. He was much better. Jensen's really good out the last corner, but Brock's coming for a run, I think. I don't think he's going to get close enough this time round. Not quite this time. 2 to go. One last go at the DRS straight this time around. Mike does solidify the fastest lap. No, you're absolutely alright, Mitch. Absolutely fine, mate. So Postman fell off a bit. He did give it a good go. I think his early pace compared to other guys, he was fast. Early in the stints, he was definitely the faster driver. Just once you get caught in that traffic, it's very hard to get the moves done, and then once your pace falls off, it becomes very hard. But still, a stellar job in P3. He drove a good race. I think he'd be happy to take home a podium. No penalties as well. Very, very happy. So here comes Brock on the last time. It's going to be the last big opportunity he gets in the DRS, and I don't think he's going to be close enough. So Jensen probably just needs to keep it clean for this lap, and Damiano picks up a penalty. So how much pace has SPW got in the tank? Can he close up to 3 seconds? But Jensen's just got to keep it clean for these last sequence of 16 corners. Can he keep it sweet and tidy to bring home the win and close up the gap? Or extend the gap? I'm not quite sure who's at the top of the championship, but it is something I need to look at. I haven't done it in a little while. But Jensen looks set and comfortable. Has Brock got absolutely anything to fling left at them as they come round to enter the final sector of the last lap of the race? Brock's closing up a little bit. I don't think it's going to be close enough. Jensen's just got to keep it neat and tidy. He touches a little bit of the curb, gets the traction zone, nice and easy. To the second to last corner. This last corner's not even a corner, it's absolutely flat out. Brock's pushing as hard as he dares, but the energy's going to run out. Jensen is going to take home the win. He wins in Zandvoort. Brock brings home P2. Bosman with a solid P3. Nadim will bring home, I think he'll be happy with P4. Damiano and P5. SPW, an absolute stellar drive strategy of the day, bringing home P6. Mikey and P7. Officer Duffy looks set to bring home P8. In fact, he will, because Pedro's got that time penalty. So it'll be Officer Duffy in P8, Pedro P9, and Mike will be in P10 for the victory. Or for the end of the race, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a reasonably good race, Mitch. I fairly enjoyed that. Yeah, I very much, yes. For only having 13 drivers, the majority of the race 10. The guys done their best, the best under the circumstances of the circuit, to really have a crack. So I don't think Brock, although he's got a headset now, but I don't know if he comes for comms. I don't know if it's his cup of tea, which I thought it's each to their own. Not everybody likes to talk on the stream. But well done, Jensen. Brock, you gave it a good go. Unfortunate for Brock, but he went there fighting and tried his best. SPW says long race, yes. But strategy of the day, Mr. Stephen. Very, very, very bold calls. It was, it played out very well. But welcome. Should we go front to back or back to front, Mitch? What do you think? Let's go back to front. I want to talk to my future teammate.
Okay.
Good evening, Bossman.
What's up, team?
How are you feeling that? I think P5 to P3 early in the stints, you really threatened the guys. That's what I said at the end there. I think if you split each stint into 2 halves, the first half of each, you were definitely the fastest guy in the circuit. But once Jensen and Brock kind of fell into the later side of their stints, they just seemed to pull that gap away. But positions gained, no pens.
Good race. Yeah, that's 2 races in a row now. I came down I had a little mini moment on my spun and then I lost the DRS and that was it pretty much. Plus on the pad, like my left front was like 106 for like the last 10 laps, so just understeering everywhere. So yeah, I probably should have went onto the hards. I would have been a bit slower, but yeah, third was pretty much the best I could have hoped to already.
And I think
to rain for the whole race. The first stint, like in the changing conditions, I was quick.
yes, yeah, you were definitely probably the fastest driver on track in the wet.
I just couldn't get past.
And that is the that is the biggest problem with Zandvoort. Once you're kind of in that train, unless you get a tremendously better run out that second to last corner, yeah, you're pretty much neutralised in getting an overtake. And we noticed that with a lot of guys, even when like Brock was trying to get closer to Jensen, even if he was within 4/10, as long as Jensen got the traction zone right, it's almost impossible without absolutely sending a dive bomb.
Yeah, 100%.
But good effort.
Yeah, third was the best I could hope. Yeah, not podium.
Yes, and yeah, penaltyless is 2 in the bounce, as you say. That's good things. It's a good thing to start building some momentum with, because if you keep the penalties down, then we know how fast you are. I know I'm going to end up with plenty myself. Don't worry. But we know how fast you can be. You showed there that the majority of that I mean, that race was a 3-horse race there. Once the strategy levelled out and you these guys got up front.
Last 8 laps I was in it, but yeah, enough. Want to focus some rain in the next few races.
That's it. But GG's, good effort. Mitch, anything to ask, Boastman?
Yeah, Boastman, well done, man.
Yep. Cheers, bro.
Cool, man.
So, Mr. Jensen.
Yes.
That was. It looked a close race, but I have the sneaky suspicion that until the end of the race, your car started to look a bit twitchy. I think you were reasonably in control of that.
Mate, it was very intense. Let's just say the last 16 laps. I'd say, of course, you saw what buffer I had after the first pit stop.
Yes.
That was major. Like, Jeff suggested me the strategy to pit for the dry tyres. It was still raining at the time.
Well, SPW actually done it a lap before every day, and he got a 7-second advantage out of it. Bold call.
That was insane. That was insane. I literally noticed that, and it was like 8 seconds up the road from me. The guy really played the strategy well there, but I mean, I'd say I played it the second best out of everyone, as I pitted, everyone else didn't. And when I came across the line to start my first actual fast lap on the softs, everyone was about 8 seconds behind me or so, or 7.5. So, pretty in control. And a bit lucky with the safety car, I reckon, because the guys may have gone for the softs, but of course I had the gap, so may have been different, but I mean, couldn't be more happy with that. It's just, managing against Brock.
Yeah, the safety car came from, I think Tyne, unfortunately. Does Tyne race on wheel? I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he had, like, his wheel just stopped working because he went just no brakes, no nothing, going up the main straight, and the straight just continued till he hit the wall. So I think he had a big error somewhere. And
TRO Limitless had.
Well. Straight into the wall, man, which is rather unfortunate. But the last, Brock tried to really nip your heels in the last kind of 10 laps of the race, but once they kind of tried to have a go, you managed to kind of break to the higher side of the DRS gap. And I think, like I was saying to Boastman, once you're above that half a second mark, you just got to be good out the last corner. It's very hard for the driver to have a good go into turn 1. Plus, you had a good ERS advantage, so I think you managed the race pretty perfectly, although it was close.
My aim was basically to get Brock to use as much energy as possible, and when he building those buffers, like I build like 8/10 buffers, and I don't have to use anything to build those, and that sort of made him have to use it a bit more to stay within like the DRS, all that. And,
yeah, I think your soft strat was huge as well. Whenever they went to the mediums, you went in the softs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but I think in
only damp. Yeah, it was damp conditions.
In 9 laps, you done 5 fast laps. So that start of that soft, or in 8 laps, was mighty. That really put you in a commanding position to allow you to take that comfortable pit stop when the second safety car came out.
Yeah, I mean, main reason I went to the softs instead of like mediums, I would have gone mediums to follow the same strategy, but I did not want to fall victim of the low grip still, because it's still a drying track, and I knew the softs would be the perfect tyre for that.
Yeah.
And as seen, it worked very well, so... Yeah.
So yes, very well done, sir. Does that bring you close? I've been saying it all stream, I'm not exactly sure of the championship standings. Does that bring you closer to Brock or extend a lead?
Got miles.
I beat him today, so I guess I extended over him.
So really what I'm asking is, were you in first in the championship? Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I've had a good... I'm just trying to build a good buffer at the moment. I mean, I'd say this is probably our best start to any league racing season, my league racing career, which has been 2 years. 4 wins out of 5 races so far, which is just incredible. So, yeah. 4
wins out of 5 races when the racing's close as well, I think makes it a bit better.
Yeah, the racing's been amazing this season.
Like you, Brock and Boschman are...
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got some serious pace, so I think we will see much more of this as the season goes on. But Mitch, would you have anything you would like to ask Jensen?
Yeah, Jensen, well done. Well, you did the soft running and was really good. And yeah, good fighting, man.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch.
So, stream, before we wrap up, coming up on the Racing Hub Wednesday nights, I think to be the same time, we have OTL Elite. You know OTL Mondays, it's the same format, but the calibre of driver is nutty. Jensen will be there, Bossman will be there, this Scottish idiot in the comms box is somehow going to be there. And some very high calibre drivers, so that's going to be something worth tuning in for. And one last thing before we go, driver of the day.
So I think the game gave it to Adam, if I'm not mistaken.
So Officer Duffy got it from the game.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
So I think for in regards to our driver of the day, Mitch, one driver stands out. In regards to a lot of guys gained a couple of positions, but that strategy call kind of sold it very early for me. He was literally running in the wet. It was still raining and a medium tyre and racing in the pack. Made it work, and then when the dry came around, he gave himself a 7-second advantage to the likes of Jensen and Brock. When have we ever seen a mid-pack driver, at an SPW or a Mikey, put that kind of distance on the guys that they know are faster? So I think that is definitely warranting of a driver of the day.
Yeah, man. For sure.
So, on that note, stream OTL Monday, better tune in, and then OTL Wednesday. That's going to be something to look forward to. So until then, guys, we will see you soon.